up, everybody?
Hi.
Welcome back to another episode of
Q&A
with
H and K.
Man, welcome. Hey, first things first. Subscribe. Hit that button. Hit it. Did you subscribe? Cool. Well, welcome, guys. We appreciate you joining us for this episode, man. As you know, we take your questions and we answer them. We just doing the Lord's work.
He's so true, but so extra.
Anywho, but we got a good one today.
Yeah.
The question is, should you go to bed angry in your marriage? Should you go to bed angry? Man, that's one of those. I'm gonna get right into it because that's one of those ones. It was like you get that old advice like, never go to bed
always
angry.
Kiss me goodnight. I do like that one and agree with that one. But it was one of those, like, always kiss me nigga goodnight. Don't go to bed
Never go to bed angry. Even when you think biblically talking about like never let your anger fall on the sunset. Like when the sun sets, but we had to really like think about that as we in our marriage and like when we talk about conflict resolution and how do we actually really go through a conflict, and it may be deep issues that gets late in the night and this thing we're kind of angry with each other. So let's set the scene. Set the scene. You go to work. Both of you are at work. You had a long day, man. You get off at 5, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Something has happened between the two of you. You eat dinner. It's quiet at dinner. It's quiet at dinner.
No talking.
Now it's like you shower maybe, get yourself ready for the evening. And now you're like, I'm gonna bring this up. Somebody's gonna bring it up. And you get into this conflict. This debate. The disagreement. And now we're going at it. She's giving me what she thinks. I'm giving her what I think.
Yeah.
And we're like saying things to each other. And one thing about probably in the conflict and fighting fair is most of the time we don't listen. We're thinking about what we want to say back and not really listening to get understanding of what our spouse is trying to tell us.
That's good.
So, yeah. So, in that talking though, you get tired.
Because at this point, we've showered, we've eaten, all of that stuff. Now it's probably about a good 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and you got to be at work the next day. And you're tired. And so now the emotions are still bubbling over. And you're not getting anywhere in this conversation because we're not speaking out of love. We're being defensive with what's been said.
We're angry. We're tired.
We're tired.
We're done.
So what do? Do you say, forget it? It's over. We're good when you're really not, or do you end up going to bed angry? I think what happens sometimes, I know in our relationship, it's been a thing where we've gone to bed angry.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. Like you said, I think that it's one of those things that's like, I'm not my best self right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm not my best self, if I'm emotional, if I am just thinking of me and what I want out of this and not really listening to the point that you're trying to make, or it's just I'm not in the right headspace to receive what you're saying to me right now. So if I'm not in the right headspace, we're going nowhere. We're getting nowhere.
Probably going in circles.
And we've gone in circles many times. So it's like, okay, nothing's getting accomplished tonight because at this point it went from 10, now it's 11:30, and we got to get up and do all of that stuff. So it's like, I respect you, I love you, but I'm going to sleep. And what normally happens when we go to sleep?
Well, I wanna. She dropped some gems in there.
Did y'all pick them up?
Because we may have to decide we're going to bed angry, right?
Yeah.
But there was one thing she said is, I respect you, I love you. So we're going to go to bed angry. But I respect who she is as my wife. We're going to still kiss goodnight. And we're going to pray like we normally do at night, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to decide either before we go to work in the morning or immediately after come. We're going to set that time of we're going to come back to this discussion.
Yeah. Because like for me, I'm a processor, right? So it's like I need time. I can't just I need to soak in what I'm feeling, soak in what he's feeling, and I just need a moment to think about everything. Yeah. So there's been many times where I'm like, I'm not my best self, and I'm not at the place where I'm ready to articulate. I don't know how to articulate what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, in the morning after God has whispered in my ear at night.
That's the same God when you fall asleep. God know how to deal with you. Holy Spirit starts speaking to you in your sleep.
Sometimes
in
you
your
wake
deep
up
slumber.
And you're like, was I mad last night? I feel like I was mad last night. I've woken up sometimes like, am I supposed to be mad at him right now?
What happened last night?
But it's like after I've had that moment to rest, after God and the Holy Spirit has talked to me, it's like you wake up, you have a fresh mind. Your emotions are no longer, well, they may still be there, but they're not as heightened as they were
not
the night.
leading the conversation. Sometimes that's what happens when you're angry. Your emotion is leading the conversation, not your right mind.
I like that. Yeah, so it's like the emotions have taken a back seat, and now you're thinking clearly with your mind. So it's like, okay, now before you go to work, we're going to have this conversation. And I think that, like, for me, you have to set the time to have the conversation.
That's key.
Because you can't just forget about it. Say, well, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, and then y'all just never talk about it, and then y'all go about your way. It's not healthy. No. It's not right.
So, do we go to bed angry? Should you go to bed angry?
We don't recommend it.
We don't recommend it.
But there are times it just may have to be that way. But don't make a habit of it.
Don't make a habit.
But sometimes it may have to be that way.
That's true. So, tell us what you think. Drop it down in the comments of what you think about going to bed angry, if you have. And we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like this. Throw those comments in and subscribe.
And I always say this. If you have a question that you would like for us to answer, head on over to Instagram every Thursday and submit your question, and we just may talk about it. All right?
We love you guys. Stay safe. Peace.